Cancer is often portrayed as a disease of fate, an unfortunate roll of the genetic dice. This perception, reinforced by decades of focus on inherited mutations like BRCA1 or TP53, has cemented a dangerous myth in the public imagination that cancer is mostly hereditary and beyond our control. In reality, only about 5 to 10% of cancers are directly caused by inherited genetic mutations. The vast majority arise from interactions between our genes and the environments we create for them through diet, physical activity, pollution, stress, and most crucially, the epidemic of obesity. These are not fringe contributors. They are central drivers of the modern cancer burden. Obesity, in particular, has emerged as one of the most significant and underappreciated modifiable risk factors for cancer. It is already known to increase the risk of at least 13 types of cancer, including some of the most aggressive and common: postmenopausal breast, colorectal, endometrial, liver, pancreatic, and esophageal cancers. The mechanisms are now well understood and multifactorial: chronic low-grade inflammation, excess estrogen from adipose tissue, insulin resistance, disrupted nutrient-sensing pathways like mTOR and AMPK, and impaired immune surveillance. Obesity literally alters the internal environment of the body, creating conditions that favor malignant transformation, tumor growth, and reduced response to treatment. But public perception has not caught up with scientific reality. Many people, when diagnosed with cancer, still search their family tree for answers instead of looking at long-term exposure to modifiable risk factors, especially weight gain over time, poor dietary patterns, and sedentary behavior. This mindset can delay prevention, downplay the importance of lifestyle changes, and contribute to fatalism. If cancer is seen as mostly genetic, then there is little incentive to invest in prevention. But if we confront the truth that many cancers are environmentally and behaviorally mediated, we gain agency to reduce risk at both the personal and policy level. This misperception is partly a failure of communication. Public health campaigns have historically been more comfortable addressing tobacco and viruses than food, weight, or inactivity. Tobacco was a clear enemy, its link to cancer proven and politically acceptable to confront. But obesity intersects with powerful commercial interests, deep societal stigmas, and complex behavioral roots. This makes it harder to frame as a cancer prevention target, even though the evidence is overwhelming. And unlike infectious agents or smoking, obesity is often dismissed as a personal choice rather than a consequence of structural and environmental pressures. Further complicating matters is the fact that obesity acts synergistically with other risks. A person with a modest genetic predisposition may never develop cancer without the inflammatory or hormonal milieu created by excess weight. Conversely, someone without known genetic risks may still face elevated cancer risk purely due to obesity-related biological changes. This means that the line between genetic and environmental is not a binary, it's a dynamic interaction. We are not merely victims of our DNA, we are stewards of the environments in which our genes express themselves. The reality is that cancer prevention must be redefined. Screening is important, but it is not prevention. Prevention means addressing root causes: excess calories, ultra-processed food, physical inactivity, and socioeconomic disparities that limit healthy choices. It also means acknowledging how early in life these risk factors accumulate. Childhood obesity, for instance, sets the biological groundwork for increased cancer risk decades later. A ticking clock few are aware is counting down. Policymakers, clinicians, educators, and the media must help dismantle the myth that cancer is mostly hereditary. This narrative not only obscures the influence of modifiable factors like obesity, but also undermines the urgency to invest in upstream solutions. Urban planning that promotes walking and access to fresh food is cancer prevention. Ending food deserts and regulating sugar-sweetened beverages is cancer prevention. Promoting healthy weight through education, support, not shame, is cancer prevention. These efforts matter just as much as genomic testing or precision oncology, but they remain vastly underfunded and underprioritized. Cancer is not destiny. While genetic mutations may load the gun, it is often environmental and lifestyle factors that pull the trigger. By continuing to portray cancer as a genetic inevitability, we overlook one of the most powerful truths of modern oncology: that many tumors begin not in our DNA, but in the world we build around our bodies. It is time for a shift, not just in how we treat cancer, but in how we think about its origins. Only by acknowledging the preventable roots of cancer, particularly those buried beneath the rising tide of obesity, can we begin to turn the tide on this global epidemic.